Hello, everybody, and welcome to the fourth week of the third season of the 10th Point Canadian Highlander Weekly Tournaments. This is an event that we do every. Hi, it's me. Wow, this should not be around. This is an event that we do every week, if we can help it. What's happening? We show up. We have 6 or more of our favorite players from the Canadian Highlander Discord show up and play some powerful magic against each other. And then at the end of the season, we will have probably an end of season championship where, yeah, every Saturday as far as we can. Yeah. And then at the end of the season, we're hoping to have an end of season championship and see pitting the most successful players against each other. Either way, today, at least for now, it is just me. We do not have my wonderful co-host. We do not have my wonderful co-host Standard Numbers or my other wonderful co-host Eloquent today, sadly. Because they both were busy with stuff, so I'm flying solo for today. Couple of introductory business to get things going. If you wanted to participate in this event, you can type !Discord, just as I'm doing right now in chat. That will give you a link to the wonderful Canadian Highlander Discord, which is a great place. It's full of awesome players that are going to help you with getting started with the format if you need to do that. And also there will be announcements usually on Wednesdays. They pop out on how to join the event for the Saturday. We run every Saturday at 10 p.m. Pacific or 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. That's at least for now. We are considering maybe changing the time around a little bit, but that's hasn't happened yet. If you are watching this game and it's like, whoa, what's this? This format is cool. I haven't seen Magic cards do this before. This is Canadian Highlander. Canadian Highlander is a 100 card singleton format that is really it really reminds people of Constructed Cube or maybe Singleton Legacy. The idea is that you have the vintage ban list, so only the cards that basically do not work are banned in the format, but in order to limit power level, we have a points list. Your deck has 10 points, and there are a list of about 40 cards that are the most powerful cards in Magic, that are worth points. So, for example, if you want to put Ancestral Recall in your deck, that card's pretty good, well, it is, but it's gonna cost you 7 out of your 10 points. So, and going from there. So that's the basic idea here, that you can put some broken stuff in your deck, just not all of it. And it ends up in this format where you get to play a lot of cards that were basically the old stars of Standards and Modern past. They're not quite good enough to make it into those formats yet, and you end up getting to play some very interactive, very long game. The very long or short game. The games are played at 20 life, 1v1. So you can end up some blistering fast aggro start, or these sweet control games that take like a long time, which are my favorite. Spoilers, but this is the format lends itself to a huge variety of deck, a huge variety of construction ways that you can go to try and do some completely outlandish stuff, and also some very like bare to the bones archetypes. You want to play mono red, you can play mono red. You want to play blue white control, you can play blue white control, and these decks are good. But also you get to play like 100 card 9 lands Belcher, and the deck can also win games. So Gozmit, shut up. Either way, we'll see how things are going. We have our 6 players shut up. I don't know why I said shut up. We have our 6 players all ready to go today. We have Gozmit, Aqua, Luca, Ramy, Reiyu, and Tenebre all waiting in the weeds, ready to battle each other and show us some incredibly powerful magic. I have coffee, as you can see on screen. I drank some. You probably saw that too. I am about to pause by round 1. Oh, for our players, a little bit of a reminder from last time. When you start your round on Modo, do not challenge each other, by the way. But instead, please do just open a room in the limited getting series, I think it's called, tournament practice, the middle room, basically. Yeah, tournament practice. Because if you put it in, if you just challenge each other, I can't watch the games, and I need to watch the games. So otherwise, we don't have a stream. So please remember to do that. Oh, Gozmit versus okay. Oh, Loman, the absolute homie that he usually is considering jumping in the booth to help me. That's great because I am going to have my hands really full doing tech. This is not. This can be kind of an intensive job, as you might have gathered by the fact that right now I am trying to do 2 things at once and succeeding in doing neither of them. There you go. And also I wrote Loman O instead of Loman O2. Okay. I am confused by these shenanigans. All right. So we're gonna have Loman in the booth as soon as he gets. We're gonna get Loman in the booth as soon as he gets into voice chat. We are. He's not gonna have video, sadly, but it beats, you know, the alternative of me being by myself and rambling and also just bumbling around while I try to get things going. So that's better. I'm gonna have to be running the tournament still, but that's not that big of a deal. What are we gonna feature? Okay. Okay. So that's the thing, and or it's. Okay. So we are going to be. Yeah. I mean, please, that if that helps is helping for you. I don't care too much as who creates the game because there's usually not a billion games going on in the vintage room, but it's mostly that the game is created in the vintage tournament practice. That is the big denominator. For this is the big problem in case things don't work out. So I need people to go to their respective room. God damn it, Gozmit. Gozmit said that he started the match with the wrong person. Let me contact the... Okay. And so 1 second while I try to find our players on Google Hangouts so they can set up the hole and get their hands. That sounds pretty great. Probably an important thing to get going, but what? But this, I am so confused. And then I am going to have the other player. Loman, where are you? Alright, we got a call going with Tenebre. And so Aqua is going to show up promptly, hopefully. Okay, we have Tenebre's screen. So that part's good. Oh, hey Loman, what's up? Yeah, he's a... Hi, I'm Aqua. Okay, so this is actually kind of a land mirror. This is Tenebre is on Naya lands versus Aqua is on Jund lands. Yeah, you have some interesting tools. Yeah, we definitely have some interesting tools in the Naya lands deck, but I think that the Jund decks end up being just more powerful as the game goes long. Um, That sounds accurate. It sounds like if you're in a landfill, you can probably get to play a 4-color strategy, like because normally playing 4 colors isn't free, right? But like in lands, it's as free as it gets. Yeah. Yeah, strip point plus loam is kind of a beating. Yeah. I guess we're probably gonna end up seeing like some sort of loam battle, right? That's probably what's gonna happen. Both of these decks rely pretty heavily on that card. Yeah, so I'm sorry that we don't have hands set up yet. I'm working on it. Is there? Yeah. No. Yeah, no, for sure. It's I'm just letting the viewers know that we're gonna get hands. Just give me a second. Um, it's that's we have. What is going on here? Uh, I don't. No, I mean, I don't think so because normally, like, so normally the way that we do it is that we have people get into the same Hangouts call, but I don't know if that's gonna work because you don't have the keys to all the stuff that the other guys do. So that's the problem there. And yeah, the Resurrection Stone is kind of a divisive card. I've seen a lot of people. I've seen some people think it's absolute garbage, and some people think it's great. Okay, so, Declaration in Stone, like that seems to be like something that I've seen it be very divisive in terms of like I've seen some people that just think that the card is terrible and they would never run it in control, but Declaration Declaration in Stone. I am setting up things to be more accurate on stream since we had a bunch of stuff. The good news, so we're not gonna have Aqua's hand sadly on stream because he's having some problems with the Hangout call, which I think I know how to fix, but I'll need to be able to talk to him later. Moto can be kind of a finicky business. Yeah, we're not gonna get to the blistering pace of I immediately have my life from the loam into here's a 2020 from powerful magic. Yeah, users might be able to see Aqua's mouse cursor move over their hand sometimes because that's just kind of how this breaks out. This is a this is a capture issue where Google Hangouts doesn't like Modo if it's in window capture over screen capture. So that's the problem that that Gozmit that Aqua is having right now. But I'll talk to him. I'll talk to him later. Yeah, we have Tenebra's hand. Okay, good. Noted. Tenebra's hand is not the greatest. This Entomb is great. It is gonna find their. It's gonna find him his life from the loam, so he can start selling some of these lands away to get some value that way. But his hand's pretty slow. He has 5 lands in hand and the kitchen things. Oh hey, Build the Cat. What's up? Oh. Oh, interesting. Fast Asigur can be very powerful. Yeah. Yeah, Loam is a very powerful card, and just sending it away like that seems natural order, eh? And the last card in the hand is Huntmaster of the Fells? I mean, is it a random 2-2? Well, the wolf is green, and it does. The wolf has potential to become something, you know, a little bit more impressive after this natural order does its thing. So there is also that. Oh, I thought that both had Loam. No, Tenebre entombed for the Loam, right? Wasn't Tenebre that entombed for the Loam? Alright. Alright, trying to see if I can figure out the hand thing with that. Animate Dead gets back the Handmaster. No, sorry, the Remnant Excavator. Yeah, I'm assuming that Natural Order just gets immediately fired off. Probably for... Let's see what he has. I'm assuming there's a Progenitus is gonna be coming out. I guess we can just wait. Oh yeah, prime time would also make sense. Oh, look at that! We have a hand for we have hands. We have a hand for Aqua as well. His hand is Recurring Nightmare Damnation, which is actually not bad. Golgari Grave Troll, Snapcaster Mage Life from them. So a pretty stacked hand, but I mean, it's true, but I think Titania might end up being a better job of ending being certain to end the game. Because, now this Tasigur is just gonna trade with a 5-3, right? I don't... Yeah, I don't agree with this attack at all. Yeah, he has Damnation. Yeah, Damnation is kind of a very good card for him to have there, because it's a card that allows him to be... I don't care how many 5-3s you have. It's...
Resources.
Oh my god. I just realized that we had my co-host muted this whole time. I am so sorry.
Oh, no problem. Oh, hey guys, this is Lowman02. I've been muted the whole time. It's nice to hear you guys. Harmonize is not a bad one. It's probably not going to get out of this lock. So Loam in hand. It's only one a turn unless he draws a way to actually start stripping more than once a turn.
Yeah, but the advantage part is still solidly in Aqua's direction.
I can see it going either way. If he get a threat down here, like Azusa is not a threat, but it also allows him to get up on mana resources. But
yeah, but Tenebra's hand is all lands. That's the problem, right? Tenebra's hand is a bunch of lands. There's this Dark Depths, which is threatening, except it's gonna get discarded to this Him to Turok that just got drawn.
So I can't see hands right now. I'm assuming does Ari Wild, you said he had Recurring Nightmare. Does he have a creature that he can use the Recurring Nightmare on?
He has a Snapcaster Mage, but...
Okay. Oh, wait, so he is on 3-color then. Or 4-color, I'm sorry.
Yeah. His deck was registered as Jund-ish lands. And,
okay.
I think I didn't understand what the ish was, and then let me fix that.
Yeah, so I'm assuming it's okay. This is exactly what Tenebrae needs to do is just draw threats here. I would fire up the Raging Ravine and just life him as fast as you can.
He drew Vortex, Magmatic Vortex for his turn, which is a good card. Makes you regret a little bit that you just spewed all your lands onto the battlefield with Azusa, but...
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
But,
I can see... is it also... Intuition and Gifts Ungiven are both things. And they can set up Raven's Crime Lock. Raven's Crime Lock, retrace, black 1, opponent discards a card or player discards a card. And it's 1 black to cast. If the opponent's playing blue, I don't know. I don't have the luxury of the whole list. You can Intuition to set up one either kill with Dark Depths, set up a lock with Wasteland, Loam plus Raven's Crime.
Yeah, one thing I can do actually is share with you the lists, so I can... That much I can probably do.
Yeah. So now we're going to see a Recurring Nightmare, likely post-targeting something that's not relevant. I mean, he could also Demonic Tutor here. Demonic Tutor or Recurring Nightmare. Recurring Nightmare, I think, also be decent to get back... likely the Raminap Excavator. This is going to be a DT for a fast bond to try to win next turn, I assume. Yeah. So I think this one is going to be in the books. I assume this goes for fast bond. We see a fast bond next turn into a Recurring Nightmare on Raminap Excavator. Board wipe all of the lands on the opposing side and fetch all of the blue and red lands out of his deck and likely get back the Tasigur after wiping the board.
All right, I sent you a link with the form subscription and that has all the deck lists. So if you want to, so
sweet, I will take a quick look. But in general, blue adds kind of an interesting dimension to these lands decks, and I think it's specifically Loam, or I'm sorry, not Loam, Intuition and Gifts. Another card that you don't see a ton of, and I think folks either really love it in lands or really don't like it in lands, is Realms Uncharted.
Oh baby, yeah, I know that one. It's basically Gifts Ungiven, but you can only find lands, right?
Correct. Yep, and it's templated correctly, so you put the cards you choose into the graveyard as opposed, or into hand. So it's going to be interesting to see what he Woodland Bellowers here for. I think it has to be some sort of disruptive component. But
So
I'm pulling up the list right now, but I don't know the list. All right. The Knight's going to be big. Actually,
the Knight is an 11-11 right now. That counts
well, what
as
I'm
big.
curious about is what did Aqua actually tutor for? I assume it was fast bond because it allows him to set up a really powerful next turn, but it's not going to be good here realistically,
Um,
unless he has like more threats.
Sorry. Let me see. Can we look at the? Can we? I don't think we can. Okay, never mind. Yeah, I'm
Okay,
sorry. I
so
was
this
doing
game,
some
this
tech
game,
stuff and I missed it.
no problem. This game did just end. If he got the fast bond, which I assume is what he DT'd for, then he's got a tranquil thicket,
There is
strip
no
mine.
fast bond in either player's hand.
Oh, interesting. I would have figured that's what he would have DT'd for. Because what would have
So
happened here if he
Tenebre's
had
hand is Tig. Tig is the only card
Mhm,
in hand.
sure.
And Aqua's hand is Golgari Grave Troll, Recurring Nightmare, Life from the Loam, Liliana the Last Hope, and Assassin's Trophy.
So what I'm curious about is what did he DT for? Because I feel like if he had DT'd for fast bond, as it turns out, he would have actually won this turn because he could have put fast bond down and then used his own strip mine to make infinite mana with his own lands. So basically, tap one of your lands, sack your strip mine to kill one of your lands, bring your land and strip mine back, and then use Tranquil Thicket to dig into his deck with the infinite mana.
Doesn't
Um,
that cost life? He has
it,
8
it
life.
does, it does, it does. So I mean, it really comes down to like, what do you have in your hand, or what do you have access to? Now, if you have Glacial Chasm, that turns into a complete lock, or if you have
Yeah.
like a
Or a
Jotty
Zernorb,
Offshoot,
or a Zernorb or
or
something.
yep, Zern Orb works, Jotty Offshoot works, Gladeheart works, Courser Crewfix works. There's like quite a few combos
Yeah,
with
yeah,
it.
yeah. Of course. But we didn't quite. Nissa Sage Animist is the play for Tenebra. It's not a bad draft.
So I think this game just ended.
Yeah, I mean, I think this game.
Fire up the creature land and attack. He has to Golgari Grave,
Yeah,
or not. He has to not charm. Assassin's Trophy, the Woodland Bellower.
yeah. It's a little odd that. Like, I don't know. I don't know. Like, this game seems. Like, Tenebre was consistently ahead on board, but Aqua's hand is busted. Right?
Sorry, you broke up a bit, man. What was that?
I was saying, like, Tenebre has been consistently ahead on board in this game, but Aqua's hand is complete gas. Like, it seems so weird to me.
I
And to be fair,
I think the problem is Loam does not have without fastbond. Loam is tempo negative, right? So if you're loaming every turn, you're not drawing into more gas, and you're committing 2 mana every turn to kind of build up resources, which is a great long-term value game plan. But I think what happened for Tenebre here is exactly what he needed to have happen. He needed to consistently present pressure. Now the damnation was backbreaking, but he was able to draw into the gas he needed to kind of close the game out. Well, our Wilds or Aqua was kind of sitting around building up long term value. I mean, you obviously look at the hand sizes. 5 cards is 0. Uh, he's obviously got the card advantage thing going. Obviously lacking mana advantage than board presence. So I do think we're probably going to see Tenebrae take this. I do think it was probably more correct to fire up the Critterland Rage Ravine to just win the game last turn as opposed to giving his opponent another draw step. But we'll see what they're able to pull together here because the strip mine was tapped.
Yeah, looking at Aqua's hand, like, I don't think there's anything in there that gets them out of this, but we'll.
But he could cycle into a fast bond
Yeah, he can draw some stuff.
into like Loam. I
I
don't
mean,
think you want to
Fastman
tap.
doesn't even do that much. He's on 4 life.
Well, no, he has to get lucky. So he has to get fast bond, cycle into fast bond, play fast bond, not having tapped the strip mine, use a strip mine to basically make enough mana to recast Loam to get the cycling land back to get something that gains you life every time you play a land. So you have to get lucky, But
All right, so Aqua's hand is Taiga, Wasteland, Vamp, Azusa, Finks, Gamble, and Nissa. That seems like a pretty powerful hand. It doesn't. Oh yeah, there's a Taiga, so you can immediately gamble for Loam and find some stuff. Tenebre answers with. Tenebre goes to 6 with Scalding Tarn, Field of Ruin, Tranquil Ticket, Teague, Knight of the Reliquary, and I don't know what this last card is.
I think I actually like Tenebre's hand better here, just having heard. I mean, now, like, Aqua's hand is more powerful, but it needs more to go right for it. I think one of the things, like we saw in the last game, is like if you're not presenting a consistent clock in this matchup, you know, unless you just like have the nuts and have the combo kill, you can oftentimes struggle trying to just loam people out.
Yeah, I mean, Teague is kind of a blank.
It does blank the damnation, so if you have early board presence, or it also stops like planeswalkers, stuff like that. It's not great, but Ari is playing blue, so I mean it could stop gifts ungiven.
Oh, Realms Uncharted was there. We were talking about that card before.
Nice. Tenebrae just drew it. That's a very sick card. Very
what
cool
is
card.
what is? Can you figure out what the 5th card in Tenebra's hand is?
Yeah, give me a second. I mean, if you posted a pic, I could. I'm not looking at stream right now.
You're not looking at the hands.
No, I'm not even at stream. Like I don't even know what the hands are, man. So I'm just.
I think it reanimates a land.
Oh, yeah. I know. Is it? Yeah, 1 in a green. Is it the one that allows you to look at the top 4 and then choose creature or land and pick it up?
No. I think you literally reanimate the land. You put the land from the graveyard onto the battlefield.
Okay. Yep, I believe that's a card too. I thought it was 3 mana, but
it might be 3. It's very hard for me to read the name line. I just can't. That's why I was trying to figure out, like, if you knew it, right? It was like, if you know the name, maybe I can figure that out.
But... Yeah, Winding Way. No, this is the card I was thinking of. It's choose creature or land and then reveal the top 4. Is that the card you were thinking of?
No, this is...
okay.
This is some mana, put the land from a graveyard onto the battlefield under your control.
Did he just miss on Winding Way? Yeah, he just missed. That's rough.
So they have Huntmaster of the Fell is the other card.
Yeah.
Aqua got to add a Nissa Vastwoodseer to his hand, which is ain't a bad
also has
one.
Wasteland Loam. I mean, is not going to be
Wasteland
bad
Loam
here.
is definitely a good one.
Yeah.
Aqua, Tenebre can eventually use the Field of Ruin to
get a basic.
So that at least they get some mana, but
yeah.
Also,
my curiosity is that was a good one. That was a solid one. This is gonna be Nissa, I assume.
Yeah. Realms Uncharted, right? Nissa's in Aqua's hand, not in Tenebre.
This is the other hand? Okay.
Yeah.
So Realms going for what? Probably a lot of basics.
I would guess that that's the case. Aqua also has a Dread Return. So currently Aqua's hand is Vamp, Azusa, Nissa Vastwoodseer, Dark Depths, and Dread Return. So Strip Mine, Thespian Stage, Wasteland, Caracas is the.
Well, that makes Depths a bad card to play.
Not the greatest. Tenebra's hand is Thespian Stage, Caracas, Huntmaster of the Fells, Knight of the Reliquary, Teague, and the mystery card that regrows a land that we don't know.
If he can get the Knight of the Reliquary down, I like his position, and I think he's probably going to be able to.
Worth mentioning that if I read this card correctly, it can reanimate your opponent lands under your control. So if Tenebre gets to strip Aqua's Dark Depth somehow...
It's pretty funny. Yeah, it's funny.
You get to reanimate and go off with your own Death Stage.
Or if the Wasteland gets used this turn and left in the yard for some reason or another, if it gets used twice, he could pick up the Wasteland and just not use it and keep it on his side of the board.
No, that's fair, but I think
that's
it's kind of funny
use
that
of
this
it,
game might end with Aqua's own Dark Depths killing them. It's not likely, though. I agree with you.
Yeah, that I don't think is likely to happen, but I think what you could see, all right, this is going to get Forest. It can't be Caracas. Not really a great one to Caracas, though.
Yeah, I mean, it's not great, but It's still 3 mana. Getting the land into your opponent's hand isn't that big of a deal. I'm going to figure out what this mystery reanimate a land card does.
I'm going to assume that we're going to see a Soul Ring tap to Field of Rune. Actually, no, I can't get the white source into play right now. So we know they have Canopy Horizon and Thespian Stage to their card, and then Caracas.
In hand, they have Zern Orb. It was the draw right now. And then, yeah, Caracas, Handmaster, Knight of the Reliquary, Teague, and Reanimate a Land, which I will figure out what that card is. I swear.
All right, hold up. I'll try to jump in stream again. This only takes me to that. All right, so quick question. You sent me this doc. I request edit access. Is that what I'm supposed to click on this to see the deck list?
Sure. That's...
I don't know, because it tells me to register my deck.
Oh, no. Yeah, you might have to request edit access. Yeah, then.
Yeah, it's fine.
I thought that I sent you the right link there, but...
All right, so the Knight of the Reliquary get out, which is a big game in my opinion. This is probably going to be a way to deal with Knight of the Reliquary on the Vamp Tutor. It could also just be Bond. Got 20 life. Bond would flip the Nissa, set up a card engine. The Knight is definitely problematic, though.
Alternatively...
So yeah, I got Abrupt Decay. On the Knight, yep, makes sense.
Yeah, the Knight is super scary. You kind of have to... Like, the card is 3 mana, a billion every single time.
What do you think of Vampiric Tutor in a Loam deck? Because of Dredge, it's kind of a little bit awkward, right? Well, I guess you could find a land with it. You can find a land with it, and
you
then
can
Dredge
find
it
a
to the
Loam
yard.
with it, and then Dredge is exactly what you want.
Well, no. My point is that if you're using Life, if Life from the Loam is like kind of like one of the engine cards of the deck, it makes Vampiric Tutor more awkward because then you can't actually Loam on that turn. Or if you do, you're using Vampiric Tutor for a land.
Well, that's true. On the other hand, you might want to actually just find your Loam.
Yeah. Also. Yeah.
Like,
yeah, that's true.
Like, I'm assuming that might be actually what the deal there is, that you just find your Loam and take it from there.
Yeah, could be. You also have Entomb for that, Gamble.
Yeah, but I guess
the question becomes like,
right? Loam is
I guess the question becomes like, what are you gaining in the extra point that you wouldn't want to use Demonic Tutor in the deck for? I guess is kind of my question that I have. All right, so we get this bit.
How constricted is this deck on points?
I don't know. It depends. He's playing blue, so I mean, he may want some 1-pointers like Intuition or you know, Intuition's one that comes to mind.
Pretty dope.
One thing I'd look at when you mention Vampiric Tutor and Loam is that Loam isn't necessarily a card you want to be using every single turn, depending on your hand and your deck. You might just want to use it every second, third turn if you're just getting back fetches.
No, agreed. And actually, typically speaking, like when I play Loam, that's how I'll often play it, unless I have like an engine set up and I'm just going through my whole deck. To me, it's like it's an interesting piece of kind of like sort of seemingly anti-strategy. So it makes me curious, like, what are you gaining in the extra? What are you gaining in the extra, point that you're not playing Demonic Tutor for it on? And it could be Intuition, right?
Yeah, I wonder if the rest of his points are very constricted. That's what I'm looking up. I'm looking up the deck list right now. Sadly, the deck list is on Goldfish, so I don't know if they're gonna have the deck list, the points. Oh no, they are. Okay. So their points are Survival. Oh, that's why they're not. I figured out why they have Vampiric Tutor and not Demonic Tutor. Mm-hmm. They also have Demonic Tutor.
Oh, okay, they have both in there.
Yeah, their points are DT, Vamp, Strip Mine, Survival, Intuition.
Okay.
Why are you
and to be fair, for a Lance deck, it feels like the only points that you absolutely, no matter what, needs to have in the deck is Strip Mine, right? Like, I think that the rest of the points can be pretty fluid depending on what you're trying to do. I might be wrong. I'm not an expert on that style of deck, but that's at least what I would guess.
The thing is too is lands has a lot of different permutations of the build. There's a lot of ways to build it. So I think the only operative components are likely strip mine is it. And if crop rotation ever gets pointed, that'll likely be one of the more committed points as well.
That seems unlikely. Is that card really in the consideration for getting pointed?
Yeah, it should be. That card's stupid.
It absolutely is. It absolutely has been mentioned.
Good, yeah, because it should be. I don't know. I'm not.
I mean, it's a very powerful tutor, but I don't know.
It's very impressive. I think that card, and actually one of the cards that we've seen played in this match, but I don't think a lot of other folks give credence to, and I don't think it gets played enough that folks recognize how broken it is Entomb. Folks think it's just a reanimator card. Entomb is really gross. Yeah, I know. I think it's underplayed.
Tenebre is on a 9-point special. He's playing Strip Mine, Soul Ring, and Natural Order as his points.
Oh, okay.
Like freak, like Entomb for blood gas isn't end of the world.
Yeah, get a mountain here.
Yeah, and Entomb is, I mean, I am not gonna even pretend that that's not. Entomb is a supremely messed up card. Crop rotation is also.
I actually think crop rotation in this format may be more broken than Entomb is, but I think they're both.
You get point cards like Strip Mine, you get your Glacial Chasm.
Well, I mean, the fact is that I think that crop rotation is better in the decks that can abuse it, but it's a much more narrow card.
I honestly feel like you can play it in decks that don't even really have land combos. I mean, they just have Wasteland in them, or I mean, Tolarian Academy obviously broken. Another land that we just saw actually get loaned back that I think is incredibly powerful and possibly underplayed, but I think a lot of folks are starting to recognize its power is Blasting Zone. That card is engineered explosives. I mean, it's slow, but stops aggro a lot of times.
No, it doesn't.
It's just called Blast Zone.
Oh, that card definitely gets aggro. No. I just focused down. I just focused down a red deck with that card. Now it's not going to be the first line of defense. You need to Swords of Plowshares, Snapcaster Swords of Plowshares, and then Blast Zones, a bunch of crap afterwards. But
I got 3 for 1, but I card multiple times now.
Yeah, that card's amazing.
Someone slamming on 24, just oh god, my 3/1 drops, goodbye. That's my ball position.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, if you're just doing that, that's the first thing you actually do to impact the aggressive player's board development. You're probably not winning anyways. You're probably too low a life. Their creatures did their suspend 2, 6 damage each or whatever.
Dark 293. What card are you talking about? Punishment.
Blasting Zone, I think, is what he was mentioning. I didn't hear.
No, so Dark 293 mentioned. Oh, Crime Punishment.
Oh, in chat.
Yeah.
All right. Well, what does it take to get out of this for Tenebre? Natural Order.
That is a good question. Natural Order would be a start.
Yeah, that'd be where I would. That's what I would be hoping for.
This is one of those situations where if you have it in your deck, your Natural Order target might just be Progenitus, because that's one that look. Deal with these. Probably you can't, but I don't know.
So
if that's in
you want to know something funny? I don't think Progenitus would do it here. And the reason being, I have to count really well, but I think he could actually Blasting Zone it in time. And even if he couldn't, with how many cards he has, he can probably get access to the Glacial Chasm and just not die to it.
Yeah, that's fair.
But yeah, this one feels like the low mention kind of kicked off, did its thing. We're getting some value now. Yeah. I guess it'll be interesting to see if he uses the Search for his Contour or if he casts the threat he just got.
Yeah, I feel at certain point we end up did get sidetracked for this game a little bit, but Aqua is so far ahead, it's kind of hard to figure out.
Yeah, no, and these games are very... they tend to look prime time. These games tend to look lopsided, and I think it's it's almost any match you can. Literally, the first 4 turns are so important. Top decks happen, but I mean how you develop is going to be really important. Yeah. All right, so
So we have the match results from the first 2 matches. We have Gozmit and Reiyu both 1-2-1. So congratulations to them. I'm gonna
Alrighty.
input
Hey,
them.
Gozmit, I assume is on red deck wins.
Oh,
What's
yeah,
Reiyu on?
Has Gozmit ever tried to put a land that wasn't a mountain in play? I don't think he understands that those exist.
I think Gozmit actually has more range than you think. I think it has to probably just do with dumping money into Moto.
That's
I was
fair.
actually talking to him about aggro loam the other day, the deck I've been recently working on. He was curious about it, and then he wanted to talk about graveyard synergy, aggressive graveyard decks, which I don't think they're quite there. I think there's good like graveyard mid range decks, but the aggressive ones I don't think quite have the card quality yet. All right, so this is the Miracle Mile on the Faithless looting. I think that's going to be all she wrote. Yeah. Actually, Natural Order doesn't even do anything on this board because I'm being a doofus. There's a Gaddock Teague on board, so there's no Natural Order. It's not now.
Cast it.
You just like
we've
send
been
it
a
into
little,
the
we've been
suicide
a
the Gaddock into
little
Nissa.
spoiled. We've been a little spoiled by recent hate cards like Kambal and Lavinia and all of these fancy things that they only affect your opponent. But Tiki subscribes to the old school of. Tiki subscribes to the old school of the hate cards where it's completely symmetrical. You also cannot cast 4-drops.
You say spoiled, like I don't know. I think you know. Oh, okay, well.
Well, they're better for the people trying to put them in their deck. Spoiled in that sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know that necessarily they're better
I think Fair
designs.
Magic deserves all the tools it can get. Although it's funny, a lot of folks like talk up. Second, buddy. Let me put my charger back on this thing. A lot of folks like talk up some of these newer hate cards, like Collector Roof. Just not a card that I think should.
Well, so I think
it's so narrow.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of these cards suffer from the fact that Collector Roof is a miracle. That's what it is. And so are cards like Lavinia. I think it's just like if you think that your opponent is going to try to do some really stupid stuff, then yeah, you put those cards in your deck. But there are cards that really suffer, I think, from the fact that there is no sideboard in this format, and I should probably fix this thing because I would love to be able to put a card like Collector Roof in my sideboard. I think that actually it's kind of interesting also because that I feel ends up making a color like say white a little bit worse, because one of the powers of white as a color is that it gets all these extremely powerful hate cards. Rest in Peace, Rule of Law, Stony Silence, right? These are cards that the other colors don't get. But it's... but obviously adding sideboards to the format adds like a little bit of... I mean, it's a whole nest of spiders that it's not necessarily. Oh, there's a Geathrock Masters on the field. That's kind of sweet. But you know, I think it's I agree, Gozmit. It's a very interesting discussion. But yeah, I feel that cards like that do suffer from the idea of like, look, I would like to have access to this deck, to this type of effect. But I cannot justify playing it because in some formats it doesn't do anything. Yeah, enchantment's been a lot harder to deal with. That's another effect of the fact that, to be fair, like I do think that there are enough ways to deal with enchantments in a versatile way at this point. Especially in green, you have cards that are not super embarrassing to put in your deck, like. Rexage and Thrashing, Brontodon, and all this stuff. But I do agree that it does end up making the color harder. But I don't think that people would put Disenchant in their sideboard, right? Like, maybe they would? Am I alone? Did my co-host disappear? What's happening? Hey. Can people still hear me? Oh, Loman died. Unfortunate.
Yeah, we can still hear you. I mean, I'd definitely put disenchanted effects in my sideboard if I had a deck that wants them.
Like, would you put like literal actual disenchant in your sideboard?
in something like blue by control, yeah, I think I might. Maybe not. Actually, I'm not sure disenchant, but like the one with cycling, like with 3 mana. I've seen some play, like something like that, maybe.
I
I
think
don't
that you
remember
end up
small.
having enough versatility in terms of cards. Like, okay, maybe I'm thinking more about green than white. I think in green you end up having enough stuff to do that is not pure disenchants that you probably don't need. Like, a card like Thrashing Brontodon, or a card like Reclamation Sage, are cards that you don't lose as much from putting in your main board. I guess is the point I'm trying to
No,
make.
exactly. The green especially has a lot of flexible answers. White also, but like
Yeah,
other colors,
white
like
less so
say
though. I agree with you there.
black sideboard cards are either really just good or really just bad. Like ley lines or such, like that graveyard hate is either just good or just why are you playing this?
Yeah,
Do you have a
black
combo?
does suffer in terms of power. Like, and that's actually like I think that's actually another discussion. That I think that black and blue are the colors that have the worst sideboard cards. Like blue, you get to put a bunch of a bunch of
Situational
situational
counter
counter spells,
spells and
which are
such.
decent. Like you get to put
Additional advantage.
excuse me.
Like black does give you more like discard spells if you want more duress effects or such.
Yeah, black gives
Duress
you more duress,
echoes.
but duress is gonna be in your main deck.
Oh, true. Yeah, absolutely. But like, you could take more sketchy sideboard cards, like more expensive ones that you need in combo matches.
I guess like dark. You haven't played dark. Look, planar void. I think it's called. That's a card that you could consider
I have
playing.
no clue what that does.
So it's one black mana, and it's when a card
Oh
is
yeah,
put.
that one. Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird rest in peace that triggers.
You just like play that alongside like the 4 mana artifact, the Helm of Obedience or something for the combo.
It doesn't combo though because the cards are actually put in the graveyard with planar void.
Oh.
It's
Okay, that's
weird.
what you
Like
use recipes.
the card goes to the graveyard and then a triggered ability goes on the stack that exiles it.
Oh, so it's not a replacement. Oh, right.
It's not a replacement effect. That's what makes that card weird.
That's
I
why
am
you use
going
recipes.
to link that card in chat.
The more you know.
Yeah, as opposed to Reiyu mentions. Yeah, as opposed to like Leyland of the Void. That's a replacement effect.
Yeah, and past. No,
Okay, we have a winner. It's Aqua. Took a while, but we got there. Loman is still dead. I am going to add that. Yeah, sure. Aqua to 1. Yeah, I agree. The only one that looks like perfectly like a reasonable magic that does things that you expect that card to do is Rest in Peace. Leyline is also has that is also weird because it doesn't eat tokens. It's only cards for reasons, I guess. Wait. Okay, it says card or token. Okay. Alright. Okay, so let me figure out what's going on with Lawman. Well, he did say that his internet might die, so we'll see how that goes. In the meantime, I am going to start preparing for round numero dos. I have a bit of a conundrum here because The only game where we haven't seen any of the decks is the one that is like at the bottom of the bracket, and I still kind of want to watch it, so we'll probably will, just to feature a deck that is to feature some decks that are a little bit more off the beaten path. But we'll see from there. And we'll see if we can get Lomi. Oh, Loman is communicating to me that his modo died, and also I'm assuming his everything else died. Okay, well, while we wait for Lomi to be back, I'm gonna send the players back to their respective games and figure out their hands and stuff. So we hopefully can get things going on that point of view. As usual, the Fisher match, please, give me a second to set all the hands up and stuff. And yeah, also, as a reminder to the players that are in our Fisher matches, when you do the capture for the hands, I kinda need you to pick. I kinda need you to pick screen capture and not display. Sorry, and not window capture, because Modo works weird with that. So if you could just make sure that that's what's happening.
You are initiating the call, yes?
Excuse me?
You are initiating the call, yes?
Yes. Sure. Give me a second to find you guys. Okay. All right. I have the cold sound going.
Getting it set up.
Sorry for the obnoxious. Alright, so I have Ramy's hand.
2 seconds, I'm...
Yeah, take your time. We have, there is no hurry. There is no hurry at all.
You got it?
It's a good question. Yes, I have your hand too. Well, I mean, I don't see your hand, but as soon as you throw it, I will have your hand. Okay.
Two seconds.
Yeah.
Hey, gentlemen, I'm back.
Oh, hi back, Loman.
Yep, and I'm in game. So we've got Ramy versus Luca.
Yep, that's the one. And, okay, so everybody leave from this call so that we can talk about the actual game, please. Also, I need to figure out whose deck is whose, which is a thing. Yeah, so this is the 01 bracket, but I figured that these decks were a little bit were interesting. These players we haven't featured yet, so I wanted to showcase some some matches that weren't the same as the one that we had seen already. So
Cool. So is Ramy on blue green? I'm assuming.
Ramy is on blue green, and Luca is on Kiki-Pod.
Okay. This should actually be an interesting matchup. I think the advantage is generally going to go to tempo, but
Yeah, I agree.
it can go either way. It's actually going to be probably a good game because
I
Kiki-Pod
also
can't
agree.
just play like random things and attack you with them.
Yeah, that's one of the advantages of Kiki-Pod, that it's a deck that is very capable of...
Excuse me, can you just mute yourself in the Hangout?
Just playing a fair mid-range game.
Absolutely.
If it has to. Yeah, if it has to. His strongest opening start's likely to play a Dork turn 1. I guess we're going to see what happens here. I don't know hands, so apologies to folks out there.
Alright, I can give you the scoop on that in a second as soon as I have them set up.
Yep, Trop is what I would have guessed into Fyndhorn Elves or something like that. Nope, Sylvan Tutor. Okay.
So, Luca's hand is currently Misty Rainforest, Breaching Hippocamp, Splinter Twin, Waterlogged Grove, Brainstorm, Script Ranger. So he has a combo in hand. He could just win if he managed to go to resolve the Splinter Twin on his stupid horse. But
I think with this matchup, you really just want to have like fair mid-range hands.
I agree with you.
Yeah, yeah. You just want to play like a Mana Dork on turn 1 and then cast a 3-drop on turn 2, and like force him to counter it, and then like maybe incidentally or eventually you combo him out. But I think this is one where all right, we got blue into Brainstorm. I actually like Ramy negating this. I think that's a very strong play by him. I like that heads up play. Now, if he doesn't have the land, he just does nothing, which he does have it. But the fact that he's Sylvan Tutored for birds may have meant that it was worth countering. But I like getting Brainstorm. I think Brainstorm is especially in a combo mid range deck. Brainstorm's quite powerful because it gets rid of the trash for the matchup if you have the fetch. Not to mention he's gonna have to use his mana anyways. Well, looks like a threat is coming down. Yep. Here's what tempo does, guys. We're gonna get down a 1/1 that'll eventually become like an 8/8 and kill his opponent.
That's kind of how Sorensen operates. Yes.
Yep, that's how it's gonna go. For those unfamiliar.
Yeah, this deck is very reminding of decks like Miracle Growing Extended, for example.
Yep.
It's kind of inspired by that.
Yep, it harkens back to Miracle Grow strategies. To some extent, it has familiarity or like some similarity to like Rug Delver and like Legacy. Maybe more like the Threshold varieties. It's not quite as aggressive as like the Threshold varieties. But yeah, Miracle Grow or like Madness, UG Madness are probably the two decks that I would equate this the closest to.
Yeah. Sorry for the...
The Breaching Hippocampus.
Look, it's not the greatest card in existence, but sometimes you kind of gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah. It doesn't fly, you mean? I don't know if you watch Ben Wheeler's streams. What do you mean it doesn't fly? No, it just jumps a little bit.
It literally looks like a flying horse. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, I know, Jost. I'm working to fix that.
Right.
For whatever reason,
so
Streamlabs tends to not like it when I am...
We could see a game end here. I think you go for it if you have the twin in hand. I think you said he had the twin in hand.
Doesn't he have Force of Will in hand? Yeah, I think you... Oh, but it's not...
I don't know. I don't know
that,
but I would
so
still
his
go
hand
for
is
it.
Script Ranger, Splinter Twin, Force of Will. But he doesn't have another blue card.
Yeah, but you still go for Splinter Twin here on the Breaching
Oh,
Hippocampus.
100%.
Yeah, I mean, like, if you get Spell Pierced, like, that sucks, but, like...
Yeah, it sucks if you get...
It's not gonna get better. It's not gonna get better for you,
No.
Dismember's
I think this is kind of what you have to do.
Yeah, he gets him. That's I like the way he played that. I mean,
very heads up. Just like, look, I'm gonna go for it. Show me what you got, and
he
ain't got it. So
this matchup's not gonna get better. I mean, like, what gets you there? Like Pierce, Dismember, Vapor Snag, Force of Will. You can't misdirect that. Unfortunately, that'd be hilarious if you could.
It would be funny.
Put it on the birds.
I have these birds. You can make more birds.
I'm trying to think if Divert works on that. Divert's some old tech.
Yeah, the
We don't have a card preview panel. I don't think Divert would work on it either. I think it's only on instants and sorceries, if I recall, but I don't quite recall.
Can somebody you can search Divert in chat if you're on stream.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure I can look it up real quick, man. I can look it up and tell you.
Yeah, so if you type !card in chat, you get to.
Oh, I'm not in chat right now, man. I'm not going to try to go back on the Twitch because, like watching Moto games at the same time I'm on Twitch, at the same time I'm doing audio on Discord, like just kills my internet.
That's fair.
Yeah, it's kind of just what it is, man. But I can definitely tell folks what Divert does. It does not see much play anymore. It's still a $2 card though, but it's old.
It also was an invocation, hilariously, if I remember correctly.
It was, yeah. Change the target of target spell with a single target unless that spell's controller pays 2. Also, one of the interesting cards that you don't really see in Highlander as much, but was a modern staple in Twin. We just passed the turn. Was Spellskite, which is a card that can do that.
Nope, still same hand twice. I'm working on it, but
I'm
for
wondering
the record, just to tide us over, Ramy's hand is currently Dismember, Force Spike, Stifled, Remand, Misdirection. So that's not actually a great hand. Because
no, it's not. It doesn't present pressure to actually.
There is
this
no
is a mold of
pressure in
4.
it. It's just interaction.
Yeah, I was looking up Divert, so I did not notice it was a mold of 4. I'm like, oh, where's the land at? This looks like it was an acceptable mold of 4, though.
Yeah, so you can actually divert a Splinter Twin.
Yep. Yeah, you could if you were playing Divert in your deck.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not, but
which you could, I guess, in certain metas it'd be okay-ish. I've definitely played it in like old 100-card Singleton on MTGO, back when it was a little less powerful.
I got to divert an X spell, like the X white black thing in Invasion draft once, and like my opponent just looked at me like I had like slaughtered their family. It's like
yeah, no, it's not a nice card when it works. It's a tricky one. All right, so there's a threat. Yeah, I think this game's over. It's gonna be very tough to come back from this. Drawing the threat for Ramy was kind of what he needed to have happen. You obviously can't sit around on blue counter magic forever. You got to eventually win. But having a 5-turn clock, we'll see though. All right, Delver. Yep, this is well, not looking too hot. Not looking too hot at all. Kind of had a fast game 1. Looks like we're gonna have a relatively fast game 2. We're kind of talking this matchup up. Well, it's an interesting matchup, but I do think in general it's gonna favor tempo.
Yeah, I think a tempo is advantage, but.
Yeah, when you're playing cards like Splinter Twin, like, you know, and cards that are less good cards because you have Splinter Twin in your deck, you know, you do assume some disadvantage, I think. Like, Breaching Hippocamp is just not a good Magic card,
Yeah, I
you
think
know, in
that
general.
Luca's build is also more vulnerable to Sorensen because it's very lean on the combo. It doesn't have as strong as a mid-range plan as
like Bug Time Walk Pod or, you know, 5-color.
Yeah, I mean, even normal Kiki-Pod, you still get a bunch of cards in there that allows you to just, I'm gonna resolve this powerful 3-drop and have...
Yep, no doubt. You have a lot of value cards. I mean, like, even, like, playing a Wood Elves out is, like, still pretty decent against, you know, blue-green if you can resolve it.
Okay, the screen is gonna look funky for a couple of seconds as I try to fix this
no problem.
Issue. There you go, hand issue.
This should be a much better game for the viewers out there. We have a 7 versus 7 here, which is good. There's Hex Drinker. It's kind of an interesting card in Sorensen. I don't know how in love I am with it, but it's definitely a good card in general.
It definitely does the thing that you expect Sorensen strats to do, which is start small and become absolutely stupid gigantic.
Yeah, the problem that I have with it is it requires mana on its own to do that.
Yeah,
and I think it's kind of difficult because you can't do it at instant speed. It's not like, you know, Figure of Destiny, it's leveling. But, you know, yeah, I mean, over time you're going to eventually have mana that you don't need per se. But Sorensen, I think, on kind of a fundamental level, operates in kind of like the shadow realms of hidden information, so that like a lot of your plays are bluffs, right? Like you're basically playing to get them to play into you, and anytime that you're dumping mana into like a Hex Drinker on your turn, you're kind of showing your hand and giving them a lot of information about your holdings, which is one thing that I don't care for about the Drinker, but that's just my assessment on it. I mean, the card is very good.
I think that it's all the things that you're saying is true. The question is, at a certain point, are you starved enough for growth threats that even with all of that, the Hex Drinker is still worth playing? Even if it doesn't...
just my take on it, I would probably not play Sorensen. I would probably just play Rug. And then you're not.
Well, okay, yes.
Then you're
Thanks.
But fair, yeah. I mean, your threat density may need to be bolstered.
I'm gonna eat a donut.
But I'm not sure if like even something like gosh, what's the card called? The elves that become 2/3 if your opponent has a non-basic land. I'm not even like convinced that like that's a... Yeah, something like that. I mean, they're basically a Curd Ape in mono green if your opponent has non-basic. That card may actually... I don't know, but it may be better than Hex Drinker in this deck. I don't know for a fact. I mean, it really depends on matchup, too. Like, Hex Drinker is an infinitely better card, don't get me wrong. I'd have to play with both in the deck enough to really get a good feel for that assessment. And I just... Yeah. Like, to me, mana is really important in this build. All right, so we're going to see a Wall of Blossoms, which will block the Hex Drinker for a while unless it gets, like, snared.
So, just to give you an idea, Ramy's hand is Highlander, Flooded Strand, Spell Pierce, Miscalculation, Misdirection, Vendilion Click, Become Immense.
That's a pretty solid hand, and it makes sense. I would have guessed he was on 2 additional lands based on the Wasteland play there. It was a very aggressive Wasteland.
Yeah. Whereas Luca's hand is Sahili Rai, Renegade Rallier, Deputy of Detention, Vizier of Tumbling Sand. That's another one that of the Go Deep.
Yeah,
well, it's actually the Go Deep gallery.
It's Mana Ramp here.
And then
it's Mana Ramp here.
It is Mana Ramp, and then Palace Jailer and Woodland Bellower.
The Jailer could run away with this game if he's able to get to mana. Yeah, if he draws white mana, I could see Jailer running away with the game. I mean, there's obviously a Vendilion Clique as well, which is problematic. So I'm assuming Flooded Strand was drawn for the turn. There's still Forest, Miscalc, Vendilion Clique, and
Mental Note was the draw for the turn.
Oh, okay. So he had Flooded Strand in hand.
Yeah.
I think you actually do... Does this thing get trample when it becomes 8? No.
No.
But it has protection from everything, so you can't block it.
Yeah. It has better than trample.
I think I would go ahead and just block it. I would just go ahead and save the 4 here. But yeah, I think if he could hit the white mana this turn, I think we could see this game kind of turn around.
Yeah, he didn't.
Because the Vizier means he can double up on any colored source that he has.
Yeah, Palace Jailer can get rid of the snake. Deputy of Detention can get rid of the snake, and then it gets reset. So, Misdirection cannot target abilities. Both of these cards are creatures, so Spell Pierce doesn't do anything.
Yeah. The problem is going to be here. It's going to be interesting to see if he leaves up Vendilion Clique or if he goes for the Gusto on the Hex Drinker.
I wouldn't. I think I would keep the Vendilion Clique up. That just seems...
I think I would too. But it may be closer than you think. So the issue is like Vendilion Clique. If he looks at his hand and like his hand is going to be all gas because he hasn't played lands here. So putting him into lands is actually going to open up the space he has to play with. So I don't know. It may be an EOT Vendilion Clique.
Yeah, I would probably be more interested in maybe keeping up the like Spell Pierce Miscalc, right, rather than even necessarily V-Click at this point.
Yeah. Well, you also have to end the game. Like, you're a tempo deck. Like, you don't have counter spells forever, so you do have to end the game as well. But I think I would have liked leaving up the 2 spells that you specified and then going for an EOT Vendilion Clique.
Yeah, I think I like that plan, right.
Yeah, that's probably how I would have played this. Not to say it's wrong. I just don't really want to put my opponent into lands here. If you look at it and they don't have a land, you just leave them with all of it and try to clock them here.
Yeah, but you also don't have a land. You also know that they don't have a land.
Because you did it during the draw step, yeah.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, if you kind of know they don't have shit, so like the V-click's probably going to be pretty nominal. It's just going to be a 3-1 that attacks in the air.
So this is actually an interesting quirk about Ramy's deck. We see a bio in play. He's plushing black for a very select amount of card. I believe it's
Just
actually
DRS.
like exactly
DRS and Dismember's in his deck too. I only know because I played him on the deck. I'm not looking at the list, but I know Dismember's a card he runs, so you could rebate it down to 2 life only.
Yeah, and he has Leovold in the deck, and he plays
There
Deathred
is
Shaman.
lethal. This is lethal here, I believe, if nothing was blocked. And it does not look like it was.
Nope. That's Becoming Man's just ending this game,
Yep.
I believe.
It's one of the things Tempo can do. It's got Become Immense, Berserk. It has quite a few cards that actually just win the game on the spot.
Becoming Man's
And
is... Fun fact about Becoming Man's. At some point during the development of that set, somebody thought that Delve was like a pretty reasonable mechanic to bring back. And nobody told them that they were dumb.
Well, so here's the thing about like just Magic in general, right? Like any time that you change the general resources of 1 land per turn and 1 card per turn, you break the game. Energy was a game-breaking mechanic. Delve is a game-breaking mechanic. Necropotence was a game-breaking mechanic. There's, quite a few of them. I mean, that's why you have the Power 9 that just, either, drastically impact card quantity faster than one per turn, or mana, by up to 3. So yeah, I mean, I think when you look at cards like Become Immense, like it's not a very hard card to set up. Like you look at Search for Iskanta, it's never been really hard for me to search for Iskanta. So like, how hard is it to really cast this 1 mana +6 basically burn spell? Not very.
Finding Iskanta not that hard, it turns out. Like it's
No,
not
as it
very
turns
well
out,
hidden.
as it turns out, it's not very hard to find Iskanta. If you're playing a deck that's meant to run it. So,
They didn't do a very good job hiding it. It's like, oh, it's right there.
No. Oh, hey, I just found this thing. I just turned the corner. It's right here. But yeah, no, just any mechanic that breaks, and I think some of them are unintuitive. Like energy is kind of an unintuitive mechanic that, in my opinion, breaks the 1 and 1 a turn, because essentially it turns into a resource that, while not mana or cards, it's used for equivalent effects to either. So I mean, it's just anything that does that in Magic, tends to be broken. But this is Highlander, and it's kind of like the place for all of the broken toys to come and play.
It's like it's where all of the broken cards get to go to play.
Yeah. Are we gonna jump into another game, bud, or no?
Yeah, the only game that is still ongoing is Aqua versus Reiyu. So I jumped in that one. We have some stuff going on. I don't know what the score is right now.
So we have Ren and 6. This is Lands versus Lands, isn't it? It's Golgari versus Lands.
So it's yeah, I don't know what Reiyu is on. I'm checking that out. Aqua is on the John D. Lands deck that we had seen before.
All right, so they're on like it looks like an Abzan mid-range deck. When I see like Ronus the Indomitable, I think Abzan mid-range. They've got a gas though. So they have some.
It's called Breaking the Gates of Tolaria. That's the name of the deck that they have given me, and I'm assuming it's just a rock. It looks like.
Well, they've got Eldamri's calling there, so they're splashing for a little bit of white.
Yeah. Okay. Fair.
They earlier posted in chat that it's a creature.
Sorry, say again.
They posted in the chat earlier.
Yeah, I have the deck list. I just can't.
Yeah. It looks like just kind of like a cool recursive kind of threat deck. I mean, you've got Grimflayer in there, which belies some sort of like graveyard synergies. Ghast, obviously. Dryad Militant's an interesting one to be playing with, cards like Grimflayer. But I guess we're gonna get back what here?
Yeah, I saw him playing earlier. He had exactly Recurring Nightmare, and like Fauna Shaman / stuff.
It's basically like an older school. Like it's like an older school like rock style deck than like the old like creature value ones.
Accurate.
Yeah.
They were my round.
I will call it Creature Rock.
All right. So
the exact quote is Golgari creature based rock. His own words in chat.
I will call it Creature Rock. I do not know the match score for this deck, so update the score.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you where this game's going. It's kind of hard. I mean, it really depends on
Yeah,
what.
we're not gonna
our-
have hands for this one because we are just.
No,
jumping
that's
into it.
fine. I'm just looking at it, trying to parse together like which game state I would prefer to be in charge of. And I don't per se know. It really depends on what those 3 cards are in Ari's hand. If they're garbage, then
Yeah, I mean,
like Thragtusk, I don't think is what you want to be
Reiyu
doing
is
here.
gonna have the advantage going forward because they're like they have this coercive part, just gonna keep feeding them more and more
Yeah.
cards.
Yeah, but
Lance-
Ari does have 2 planeswalkers. And that's,
Yeah,
true.
that's
definitely make up for
exactly. That's kind of
it.
like
And
my
they have
my kind of-
Delirium, which
yeah.
means actually best superior.
Yeah,
I
which
think the
means, yeah,
biggest thing is like, can you get to 6 mana, right? Like, can you get to 6 mana and double
double
recurring
draws,
nightmare?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like
Or
once you
double
get to that
recurring
point,
nightmare. Yeah, okay.
well, that's what you want to do. I think with recurring nightmare is start.
Oh yeah,
your-
with a block cast too. Oh yeah, god.
Oh, hi there,
Okay,
survival
now-
of the fittest.
Now Ari needs to hit discard and get rid of this recurring nightmare. The game's probably going to end if this deck is built in a way to really exploit
This
survival
deck is
of the
built in a
fittest.
way that makes sense for a deck that has survival of the fittest and recurring nightmare in it.
Yeah, well, I want to
I'm
say it in
gonna
a mean
give them
way,
the
but I mean,
benefit of the
you know,
doubt.
I want to say it in a mean way, but yeah, if his deck is built to like fully exploit what's going on here, like it's probably not good.
Okay, if you have the option of getting some sort of like dumb recurring nightmare loop, what is the one creature that you think is the best for just keep going off?
Protean Hulk, pretty easily.
Protean Hulk is
Yeah,
pretty
it's a
dumb.
bit hard to get out though, but I guess you can survival for it.
It's also
I
pointed.
am a big fan of if I have to have like just one random idiot that I can have in my deck and have a hand be good. And just like, oh, this card is pretty reasonable by itself, but then if I have recurring nightmare going on, things become incredibly stupid. It's probably Wormcoil Engine.
I was gonna say acidic slime.
But
Yeah,
since
but
I
you're playing
only
against
get one
loam.
thing,
You're
Wormcoil
playing against
Engine
a loam
makes
land
its
deck.
own fodder.
Like I was talking in general.
Yeah.
I-
Well, I think those cards are all sick, but like the reason I say Protean Hulk is because like if you can resolve that thing and then sack it once, you can just win the game.
Yeah, you
right?
just win the
Like,
game.
that's
Obviously,
on the spot.
obviously,
Like,
that's like, but like,
So
yeah,
That's a
I mean,
spike
the
and be
thing that
probably
I like
talking.
about Wormcoil Engine is that it makes its own fodder. Like, once you, like, because when it dies, you just start, like, sacrificing the worms that it made when it dies.
Yeah,
to-
no, that
to-
and actually, was it Mirror Battlesphere is also good at that. It's also good with a Welder, like Welder, Wormcoil, Welder, Mirror Battlesphere is pretty
I've
hilarious.
had a few cube decks that were doing that, I'm not gonna lie.
Yep.
yeah,
It's
I'm a
power.
I'm a fan of Sun Titan for that.
Yeah, Sun Titan's also a really
Sanderino.
cool one. Mhm. It's a really cool one for that too. Like Sun Titan's actually probably one of the better comboing. Well, correction, Primeval Titan's just the best Titan in general, and probably still better combo card than Sun Titan. But like after that one,
And
Sun
but
Titan's
Yeah,
definitely a
it's
good combo
kind of
card.
with
interesting.
recurring nightmare specifically,
I've
yeah.
always found it interesting that if you looked at how powerful the Titans were,
Mhm.
the ranking for them is pretty much inverted in Constructed and Limited. Like, in Limited, Primeval Titan is the worst Titan. By quite a bit. I would rather, I think for me it goes something like Inferno Titan is the best one that I would have if I were to just open packs of M12 for draft. And then
Yep.
it's probably...
Also, as the Mepper points out, Fractus is pretty decent too. For the same
What?
reason.
What is?
Fractus is also great for recurring
What
nightmare.
card?
Just like Fractusk.
Oh, Thragtusk.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah,
Tusk.
sorry.
Tusk, yep. Yeah, no, the Titans in limited that limited format M12, if I recall, Doomblade was a card in it, so you could answer most of them with the exception
Yeah.
of Grave Titan. But yeah, Inferno Titan and Grave Titan were probably the two tops for limited play.
Yeah. Whereas
None of
they're
them were
probably
slouches,
the
though.
worst to having constructed.
Like even Prime
Both
Time is
Sun,
a
I
6/6
would say
trap.
for constructed it's something like Primeval Titan is the best one and Sun Titan is the second best one probably.
Oh no, I would disagree with that, man. I think Sun Titan, if you build around it, is good, but like you're also accruing a massive dump cost in your deck to like have to be. But if you're playing Sun Titan, you have to play other cards that make it good. I think honestly, Inferno Titan is still great. Like I like that card a lot in blue-red. You don't have wrath effects for you don't have a ton of wrath effects, and having a wrath effect that also doubles as a threat, I think is very strong on that
Yeah.
card. Still, I really like the card
I think
in
it's
like Blue
starting
Moon.
to get a little pushed out at this point because like.
What do you think's better than it though? I mean, like you could play Consecrated Sphinx, which is a decent drawing engine. You could play Niv Mizzet, which is just hard to cast.
Tarun is an incredibly messed up card.
Yep, and I run that card. I don't actually believe I'm running Con Sphinx anymore. I think I'm running that and Inferno Titan just because I want more ability.
To do something
I mean,
immediately.
I'm not running either, to be perfectly honest, because I try to like my deck is not very built to cast cards that are heavy on the red side. Honestly, the only 6-drop that I'm playing in the deck is Torrential Gearhulk, which is kind of a different deal because it has flash. So that's another card that I think is actually better than the Inferno Titan in terms of.
I think it really just depends on where you're at in the game, right? Because a lot of the burn that's in that deck in Blue Moon, the stuff that you may need to deal with big stuff, oftentimes is not instants. So one of the things I tend to find is that like the Inferno Titan still becomes relevant in the matchups that you're not really good against, like just like the matchups where they cast a bunch of idiots.
Yeah, but you don't get to 6 in those matchups. Like,
well, I think you can. It's just you waste a bunch of your resources one-for-oneing, eventually Ancestral Recall, and then just need to find a way to win, and that card tends to do it. They can't really come back from it. But I don't know. I mean, it could be better just to run Torrential Gearhulk as well. I mean, like I still run an Inferno Titan in there. I think it's one of the few decks you actually can get away with it in. But I do think it has applications.
I'll be honest. I think Torrential Gearhulk is powerful enough. I think it's just incorrect not to run it. All of these other cards, I mean, unless you are doing the Platinum Empyrean thing, then you can't run it, obviously. But like,
and I still do technically. That's why I don't. Yeah, I still run that.
But like,
to stop
if you're doing the Platinum
lands.
Empyrean thing, that's a different paradox. But like, if you're not, I think you just Torrential Gearhulk needs to be in your deck. So there are 6 bolts. I think they're kind of. I mean, they're nice to have. You can take them or leave them. I like my deck. I like my cards being like more lean and cheap. So I.
No, I don't. Yeah, I don't disagree. What's that, bud?
Can we quickly talk about Ravenous Slime, please?
Yeah, I was actually going to mention that before we jumped into it. So Ravenous Slime is actually really interesting. There's a couple cards that are in this like style of cycle. I think this is actually a rebuild for much cheaper.
Yeah,
no, it's not like Mud Volley Slime. Yeah, this card is really weird. It's a cool card. I actually have not played with this card. I thought for a second it was Monvoli Slime, the promo art. It's not.
Is that the one that's indestructible? What's going on there?
No, that's Predator.
It's a 1/1 for free. It can't be blocked by creatures of power 2 or less. So it's about being blocked. And if a creature an opponent controls would die, exile it instead and put that many +1/+1 counters on the slime equal to that creature's power that died.
Yep.
So when the sorry.
No, I was just saying it's a very interesting card. I don't. It's interesting. Yeah, it's a tab, but if a creature opponent controls would die. Huh. I feel like this would be a better card than like Jund, like mid-range Jund, where you're just like killing all their stuff. I don't know. I mean, it's just a big thing for 3 mana.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. I'm not sure if I'm sold on this card. I guess we're gonna see how it does here.
I mean, there are plenty of other big bodies. I think maybe the most interesting thing is the fact that it exiles things. I think that's the most interesting aspect. But
Yeah.
I feel like there should be other options, maybe, but I don't know.
Yeah, I'm just wondering in my head, like, why would I want to run this card? Because it kind of has a similar effect, but it's not as proactive as, like, or selective, I guess, as Scavenging Ooze, right? It's less mana intensive, but it's only reacting to the stuff that they actually decide to block and then kill.
Yeah. But
but you can kill their own stuff.
It gets a lot
right?
bigger.
I mean, you're a rock deck. Your deck has like 15 removal spells in it or something like that.
Yeah. I'm just not sure on it. I don't know. I mean, right now we're looking at can they get out of a Dark Depths combo here? So I assume we're gonna see
the whole thing happened, right? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be happening in the next turn cycle. So I mean, I assume you have to like just basically suicide attack in there with the Ronus and at least the Tarmogoyf, and try to put them
Or
under
just
some
create an
pressure.
army of like Trump Lucas. Like, that's the completely legit answer to just a Mirror. Just be like make a 1/1 flyer, make a 2/2 flyer, make a 1/1 flyer, make a 2/2 flyer.
Yeah, I just don't know in this coloration if making blockers is
Absolutely.
really going to be a thing.
No, true.
Flyers in green. I mean, like, unless they're running like a tech Cloud Thresher and they survival for it, which would be hilarious.
That would be hilarious. I definitely.
No, well, the one card they are going to really have, they're not going to have Cloud Thresher, but the one card they really will have is Birds of Paradise. That buys them an extra turn off survival.
Yeah.
True.
They're going to be able to. Yeah, they're going to be able to Marine to get back a critter, but they'll lose it to the Raven's Crime more than likely. Maybe not, but more than likely.
Moran can just.
It looks like he's just going for lethal, actually.
You know,
Okay.
Sometimes the best
That is
way to
actually
deal
lethal.
with things is
That
to
is
just
actually
kill
lethal.
the opponent.
Exactly. Okay. Sometimes you're just dead, but he didn't block, which, like, to me is like, why wouldn't you block with the prime time there? I don't think
He's
he
gonna
had
die
to die.
to anything, but yeah, I guess then you are gonna die.
Fantasy
Yeah.
What
War comes in
happened
next
that
turn. Wow.
Ariwat was on 15, right?
Yeah. So I don't. Yeah, he was at 15. I mean, that's a big ooze, and it had trample and
is a
plus
big
2
ooze.
+0 or whatever. He was a big boy.
I was wondering if like some
Yeah,
pumps
should
back
have
got
counted.
cast
Yeah,
in.
it didn't count. Yeah.
Hubris.
Yeah, just didn't count. It's close
The
enough.
big ooze is like the big oof. It's like one of those things that
The big ooze, more like the big oof.
yeah, it's like
There's
Wow,
like so
okay.
many threes. though.
that's
the thing
another
that kills me.
game.
I just,
So
I just don't know. I don't know on it. Like, what's there's a lot like Spawn Wraith or whatever it is. Like that's another weirdo 3-drop you could play in Canadian Highlander that just copies itself a bunch of times.
yeah.
Which one?
Uh,
Multiple times to do that.
Spawn Wraith.
It's
it's a
3
card
mana.
you actually
Oh,
could.
that one.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
a weirdo
God.
old card. It's a weirdo old
I
card.
think I've seen a new Spawn Rife card recently.
It's like a
There
1/3
is blue.
trampler or something.
I'm thinking of the blue one, the ninjutsu one. That one's a
yeah,
Spawn
that's the one.
Wraith.
Yeah, that's the one.
There is also the world's
Just a
biggest
tad bit
spawn
better, I
right,
think.
which is what's that card called? Giant Adephage.
Yeah,
That's
honestly,
a
it's
spawn
funny.
right, but
I'm
it's a
thinking about it
7/7
now.
with
I
Trent.
wonder if you could find room in Sorensen for a threat like that, because those are the kind of threats that like will just run away with the game if you can keep the board open and counter all their shit. But they're also 3-drops that are 1/1s, so I don't know.
Hi there,
Probably not.
Misawa's GT.
Yeah, the ninja is a free one actually, so that does at least trade with a lot of things.
Yeah, but you do need to have something on the board to do it.
Oh, absolutely! Like, it's way to know it is if you don't have another fit to ninja. It's probably better in a like more creature heavy like version.
Yeah, you could. Yeah,
I'd
I
actually
mean more
like playing
1-drop creatures.
Oh, Reiyu can now sacrifice his own Trash Impronted to heal his own Umezawa's GT.
I think the bigger thing here is just he's got a body to actually
Yeah.
attack with this thing.
Carries
All
the,
right, well,
carries the GT, I know. I was mostly being facetious
Aw.
there.
I'm curious. I'm curious what he gets here. Like, does he actually go for a proactive plan on 2 cards left in hand, or does he get an
I mean,
answer
it
to the
just-
shit?
I could just. Oh yeah, I guess. Oh yeah, true. He has to get an answer to Jet probably.
I mean, I don't think
he was going to
there's
get alone, but like, yeah,
Yeah.
that's better.
Well, I think that depends on how
It needs to be
how
answered,
combo oriented your hand is, right? Like
If-
if you're
if his
close
hand
to
is-
doing something completely
Two
stupid,
cards
then
isn't that
just go
combo
for it.
related though.
Excuse me?
Yeah, he's saying 2 cards probably isn't combo enough. It probably doesn't have enough resources to do any combo.
Actually, if
Oh,
you
yeah,
scroll
that's
up, you know he has Ghost Quarter, and he has Cathartic Reunion.
Blows up his own land. This is funny. He's gonna find a mountain here to cast.
And
Cathartic
Resource,
Reunion.
yeah, exactly.
No?
Not finding a mountain. Okay, we'll see what happens. All right, Liliana's
Oh,
Veil.
oh, that's actually pretty good. Yeah, and then exile
Um,
crashing and just stop beating. Yeah. It's a
Yeah.
good
I
choice.
feel like on one card, I don't know. Like, we'll see what happens here. I feel like this has a lot of ways to go wrong.
Yeah,
Oh,
like
absolutely.
you are on a big problem of you're putting yourself down another resource in a game where it looks like you're already heavily constrained on those. But
Yeah. Like, if he just plays another big dude here, yeah, like
How
he
about
just
this
kills
bench
Liliana
bomb?
outright. Yeah, this is
Oh,
actually
that's
perfect.
brutal.
Yeah, that's. I feel like I don't know. I guess maybe you had to. I feel like I would probably answer the shit there. I mean, you don't get to pump your ooze up, but The shit's going to be a real problem going forward. If it just gets locked to anything, it's just
Yeah, Umezawa's
Not fun.
JIT is a fair and balanced
Well-
magic card.
Well, the thing with Jit is this, man. Like in a matchup like this, like Jit is obviously going to shine a little more because we have creatures on the board.
Yeah.
But like
Yeah,
Jit is situational, right? And it also costs a shit ton of mana to actually use it. Like
Yeah, no,
like,
for
4
sure.
is no
I
joke.
will. That one I will definitely grant you. It's a card that
Like
it's
combo
actually
as well.
like in my cube decks, and I like this analogy that like Highlander is kinda like cube-ish as a like.
Yeah.
And like, I actually usually consider Jite as almost like a sideboard card.
It depends on the deck. I mean, if I have a Stoneforge
cube.
Mystic, in
Yeah,
a cube. I'll still play it. Like I will.
It depends
Like,
on my
is it a
deck. But to be
vintage
fair, my
card,
decks tend to have
legacy,
like
like, that
5 to
depends.
7 creatures in them in cube.
Well, if your cube is like all storm decks, like yeah, it's probably garbage.
Well,
but
you know, I'm trying to play some 5-color control stuff, and I have some Snapcaster mages, and maybe a Vendilion click in there, and
So
then I'm trying
I'm
to
like-
reanimate something dumb, but like I'm not.
I'm like probably the most boring cube drafter ever. Like I play a lot of cube on MTGO when it's up, and like I swear to goodness, like the most common archetype that I draft, just because I try to draft as much as possible what is open to me, it is like 95%, like not 95%, that's probably an overstatement, but like at least 50% like a white X aggressive deck. So like I play the hell out of Umezawa shit.
Yeah, no,
Oh, yeah,
if you're
I've
white
had some
Queenies,
good
then
out of the
yeah.
last-
But
one of
the
the
problem
last
that I have
games
had
as
with
well.
white Queenies is that I've had too many times that the deck was completely open and it still wasn't powerful enough. Like
I think that's like, dude. If you want to check out my YouTube page, I have like probably like 40 plus drafts of like white X decks, aggressive decks. They are good. Like they're really good.
I do also have a little bit of an issue where I will see the card upheaval and be like, oh god, there is an upheaval, I have to do the upheaval
No,
thing.
that's fair. I mean, like, so here's the real reason that like White Weedy, I think, like gets underrated by a lot of folks. It's not fun to play. It's just like,
Oh, I love it.
well, I do too, but like, it's not like it's for a lot of people. It's not like really a great gaming experience. You're like, all right, I play 1-drop, 2-drop, 3-drop, like I would in any sort of other draft, and then I play cast Armageddon. You know, it's just like,
Oh, and pro tip, in my experience, don't ever take the 3 and 4 drops. They'll come to you. Trust me, you'll get them.
no, you
Just
take the
wait
1-drops. You take the 1-drops,
Yes, the 1 and
2-drops.
the 2 drops. A good 2 drops.
Most relevant. And actually, you don't even take Geddon the first time you see it because there's 2
Oh
Geddons.
no, that usually wheels, yeah, and you don't
Yeah.
die if you don't have it.
No, you don't. Your general plan is just to apply pressure, but I mean, plus there's 2 Geddons in there, so like, I mean, it's not every card gets open, but
Yeah.
regardless, it's a very good deck that is underrated in my opinion.
Yeah,
so.
I'm a lot higher on mono red than I am on mono white, to be honest.
Oh, I think Mono Red's actually worse in Cube, in Vintage Cube.
Yeah, Vintage
Okay.
Cube especially, yeah.
Yeah, I think.
Like,
I think
why can better make use of fast mana and power as well?
Well, not only that, but like they actually have
And
like
Punish.
legitimate disruption. Like they have disruption. Like you
Sure.
actually have disruptive cards in that. I mean, you have a couple in red. They have like Harsh Mentor's not in there right now, but you have the Eidolon.
Oh god, I see Dread returning the Scourges. Yeah, things are looking bad.
Yeah, this ain't great.
So you just basically don't spend your JIT counters until they try to activate and then kill the Sues.
Yeah.
I mean, what else are you gonna do? You're playing whatever you draw here.
Yeah, I mean, you have a 4-3, so if you attack, they have to activate. It's not, or they don't block, but then you have enough counters to heal the use anyway.
Tortured Existence. That's a sick old card.
Oh man,
love that
Popper
card.
All-Star Tortex?
I only
Damn,
played with it
Eternal is
once,
aggressive too.
but oh god, I love that card. That is like, when I'm making a cube, that card is like high up on the consideration list of putting in there.
It's a very cool card.
Have tried that
Alright,
card
so-
in my Popper cube actually a few times, but it turns out that if you can't build your whole deck around it, it's just not good enough.
Oh yeah, that's the one thing. You need, like, it's a great entry when you can. And I don't think it's gonna be good enough power level, but I kinda want to put it in anyways. Because
It
fuck, I
sees
love that
Popper
card.
play, but in the deck you kind of have a whole engine made of.
Yeah, you need a cube with a lot of Grayer synergy.
Well,
have it
so the way that the Popper deck operates is that they have an engine built with the even Skyfisher and Core Skyfisher and that land enchantment that you draw a card, Abundant Growth, I
So-
think it's called. So basically, What
For
they
this
end-
game state, actually, I think we have something interesting going on. I think, well, that's interesting. I think I would have gotten Vampiric Tutor here and tried to answer the Jit. But we're
I
going to
think
get
he's on the
Liliana
plan
the
of
Veil.
just trying to answer whatever.
I don't think you can answer all the creatures he's going to draw. I think you need to answer the Jit, me personally, but I could be off on that. I thought we were going to see him actually pull back the Vampiric Tutor, vamp for Abrupt Decay or whatever, and get rid of the Jit. Because if he just plays a critter here, he's in trouble, or discard spell even. All right, just Bloodghast, right? Like,
Hi there.
just like oofa.
I will be perfectly honest with you. The fact that you keep calling that card shit is kinda tilting me, but
I'm sorry. Umezawa's Sai.
I believe it's Jite, but I am not an expert.
Jite,
But it's
Jite,
definitely
I
not
don't
Jit.
care,
That one I guarantee.
Jit. I'm wondering why he didn't go for Vamp here. It's interesting.
Umezawa's
Yeah, I don't know.
Huh. Because I think if you answer this, you can probably set up with the loam especially, you can set up a board position where you could possibly get out of this. Yep.
Yeah, Liliana not the greatest in the face of Bloodghast, honestly.
Well, it was really just any creature. Like if he just plays any creature, like it's like this line doesn't really look great. But I guess he's on two. He was on 2 cards. I mean, gas is especially punishing, but and there is a creature land, Hissing Quagmire, which is also problematic. It's going to tie up a strip mine likely. I don't even think you attack the Liliana here. I think you just attack the face.
I think you don't care.
No,
you
yeah,
you have one
fine.
card in hand. You can probably
Yeah, you
cast
just
it, or it's
focus-
either a land or you can cast it, so you just do it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Focus
he's
the
buffing
life
up. He's
now.
going face.
Yeah, I would too.
I'm
I mean,
not sure I'd be pulling my candles when you have a card that can become indestructible.
Like, and the
Yeah.
only ability that does anything on the Liliana at this point is the ultimate.
So
well, with her at 1, all she can do is discard cards, and I'm assuming the last card in his hand is just utter trash. So
Or
Or
probably
a
doesn't
land,
care.
it might just be a land.
So
Could
I
be.
think they could have had lethal this turn if they'd spent the
He's
GT
got
counter.
Or if you
Arachnogenesis. Hey, has anyone played against that card? That card's amazing.
Oh, you make a bunch of spiders? That's what's going on?
Yeah, it's
Nice.
really cool tech. It's a really cool tech card. It's so Arachnogenesis, without reading the card verbatim, make X 1/2 green spider tokens with reach, where X is the number of creatures that are attacking you, and prevent all combat damage that would not be dealt by spiders this turn.
Spider fog.
Oh, I
Spider
thought,
fog.
actually, when I didn't really hear what you were talking about, so I thought you were talking about like Ishikana. That would definitely fit into this deck.
It could, yeah.
do
No,
like
Arachnogenesis
Ishikana.
is like anti-aggro tech. It like totally houses aggro.
Oh god, I don't want to play that ever.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
Actually,
There
Red Deck
was-
Wins can definitely beat that, like, if it's too slow.
Well, Red Deck Wins can beat anything. It's just Red Deck Wins, you know.
I don't know, man, I have a bad record against Tenebrous Lands deck. He's like 4 against me with that shit.
Yeah.
No,
Oh, Lance,
sorry, 4-1. I won
I don't
1.
I don't think Lance has a good matchup versus Red Deck Wins.
I
Just my own opinion.
think that really isn't true in my opinion.
It depends
I
on the
might have
build.
had bad
It
draws.
depends on the build. It depends on
His
the
build
build.
has like a bunch of like cards that just stop me.
Just
and, like,
in chat, notes
Like,
rightly so
Glacial
the deck
Chasm
is
is
not
the
called
card
Red
that
Deck
destroys
Losers,
you.
and there's a reason for that.
Yeah, but eventually you have to sack it, right? So like I think
yeah, but if they have that and recursion, you just need to draw instant burn spells. If you can't draw that, they'll raise you.
Yep.
So
Or
like-
life loss. Yep, exactly. I mean, I think like Abzon lands is actually good versus Red Deck Wins, but I think the more all-in lands builds tend
Agreed.
to struggle. Like Abzon lands is great. I mean, Abzon lands is good versus anything though, for the most part. You know, it can fight anything. Can do okay. Alright,
What if
so-
Absent Lands would be start playing red now just for like red and 6?
So I honestly I don't know if you're supposed to. I mean, here's my thing. I built Jund lands. I played a lot of Abzan lands. I was talking about it earlier with TRM here, but I think you actually want to play 4-color lands. I think that's probably the best build of a 4-color mid-range lands deck. I've played Jund. I really wanted white for just a couple of cards. I think white would be the lightest splash I'd probably run. The one upside to like the Abzan lands list as a mid-range build is that it gets access to a lot of the white hoser cards, so you have range against a lot of different like just bull crap that'll happen in the format.
As well as the Knight is just an incredible card in that deck. Holy crap!
Well, that Weather Wayfarer. A lot of folks overlook Weather Wayfarer.
Well, Wayfarer too, yeah,
amazing,
absolutely.
Yeah, and then you have Elvish Reclaimer, which is also a pretty cool card. I don't think it's quite on the power level of like Wayfarer, but it can attack. So
that's the new one from
I would like to
also
also point
2020,
out
right?
that
this one went down to the wire. We're down to about less than 2 minutes here to close this out. I think it's gonna.
It's been a long game.
I think it's gonna close though here. Let's see. What would it take here? Like, nope. Yep, nothing I can think of.
He's gonna need a blocker, like
Yeah.
somehow.
Yeah, I don't know how you do it. It involves Simian Spirit Guide or Elvish Spirit Guide to do anything now.
Oh yeah, that's pretty game over.
It's just
Is there actually Genesis in the graveyard? I actually
That's why I was mentioning it. Yeah, I was like, Arachnogenesis is pretty sick.
Is he getting blood? Oh, he's getting blood guts back.
Just to make sure he's really dead.
And then he's gonna equip the GTA to the blood guts, because then that's 2 lethal friends. Oh, no mind.
I don't think it matters here.
The Slaughter Pact could be like a thing that happens here. No, because this creature.
No, that's non-black.
No, being fair, we actually missed lethal a turn back because I do believe he strip mined the Hissing Quagmire on his turn. The strip mine was tapped. The Hissing Quagmire could have activated to actually put his opponent to 0 on the other turn. It's fine. I mean, it's one of those things. I didn't mention it, but I think any way you look at it, this one was over probably a couple turns back.
All right. Well, I would like.
It was a good game, well played by both players.
So okay, yeah, Reiyu got it 2-1 over Aqua. I'm gonna bring us to the in-between rounds. And before we go into the last round, I would be interested to know what the players think. Of the tournament so far, and how their decks have been going, how these rounds have been going, all of that stuff.
I hate Glacial Chasm.
I still dislike Abzan.
That's the synopsis of my last match.
My losses in 10th point tournament so far have been Abzan mid-range decks.
I think I played 1. Holy crap. Strange.
Yeah, I was like, Gozmit. I was about to compliment Tenebre to have done the impossible, have defeated Gozmit, who has.
I had lost once before.
Currently, kind of running away with the season. So.
Look, if you're gonna play like dirty decks, I'm gonna be happy. Just keep playing your 5-color control and whatever you want to do. I'm gonna be here to tear you down.
Yeah, I was gonna say we got to see some interesting hot tech. It looked like inside the last Abzan list. Gozmit, have you had any Arachnogenesis sightings in your matchups?
Yeah, I think I've seen 1 0 times.
It's really too bad because there's not much of a beating like an Arachnogenesis beating on red deck wins. It's pretty funny to watch. Or I think I was playing against Wolf earlier. Dramoka's command versus Price of Progress, a lethal Price of Progress in to win the game. That's also a fun one.
All right, we are pretty much ready to go to round 3. I just posted the bracket in in the tournament discussion room, and let's get going. Gozmit and Reiyu, you are the feature match. I will be contacting you on what's his name. And So this is gonna be Reiyu on the. This is gonna be Reiyu on the. I think it's on the Creature Rock deck that we were looking at before. That's what Reiyu's playing, right? And then Gozmit on Red Deck Wins. Loman, you still there?
Yeah.
Okay.
I am here. Yep. I am. I think it's going to be draw dependent, but I'm going to probably put my money on the Abzan deck in general.
Yeah, I think I like the rock side of these.
We may actually get to see an Arachnogenesis this game, which I'm really hoping for. I don't know if you're enthused about that card. I think that card's hilarious.
It is hilarious.
He's just like get got, and it's like so. There's a couple cards that like are techie like that I think are actually Canlander playable. I do think Arachnogenesis is definitely Canlander playable. It's meta specific. Another one that I really like that I don't see a lot of, but I think is great is Timely Reinforcements. That is a card that I tech in blue-white, and I'd like it for this style of matchup. That all said, Gozmit's playing Red Deck Wins for the folks at home, and if you know anything about Red Deck Wins, sometimes it just wins.
That's accurate. I'm hoping that
sometimes it just happens, Decent start here for Gozmit. His deck, I mean, the top draws are going to involve probably at least a Mox or a Black Lotus, although those draws tend to also be a little bit awkward as far as further development beyond turn one. At a minimum, I think the Mox draws or the Lotus draws are probably his top draws, but his standard median draw is going to be with a turn one creature into likely turn 2 1-drop plus burn protection for backup or a 2-drop itself.
We're gonna. Reiyu hasn't answered me on Hangouts, so I'm gonna have to give. We're gonna see if I can get his hand as fast as possible. I suppose. Let me just contact him.
Sure.
But yeah, for outside of that, we might have to fly with only Gozmit's hand for a while.
Oh, I haven't even seen hands this whole thing. I've just been commentating on general board state, which honestly is fine. I mean, these games, like, they obviously, the pointed cards tend to be the ones that have the most excitement in them. But like, I mean, for the most part, like Red Deck Wins, you can generally assess,
Yeah. So the Red Deck, the hand on the Red Deck Wins side currently it's. Red Hellraiser? It's got with Echo. And then Barbarian Ring, Skullcrack, Fire Blast, Lightning Bolt. So a pretty stacked hand.
That's a great hand. Yeah, that's a good hand. It'll be curious to see. He's going to definitely lead out probably with a 3-2 that has Echo on the next turn and then leave up Bolt plus pay Echo, hope to demise land, and set up lethal by turn 4, 4.5. Really depends on what he draws out.
Yeah.
That hand is going to be probably want one more land at some point.
Probably, yeah.
I mean, in a minimum to cast Fire Blast.
Yes, you kind of want to have Fire Blast. Plus, the creature that he has in hand does not actually... Like, it needs 2 mana to get cast.
Yeah, but he has the Barb Ring, so I mean, he has...
Yeah, he does have the
Barb Ring.
But...
Yeah. His Barb Ring leave up
Lightning Bolt is going to get shot at face at some point as soon as...
No, on the play, I think he's in good shape because, I mean, like, you think about it, like, the play that you need to worry about right here is, like, Mana Dork on turn 1 by his opponent Dark. If he doesn't play Mana Dork on turn 1, the nearest time that Finks is coming in is turn 3, and he can resolve his 3-2 with Echo and then, hope to hit land over the next couple turns. And if he doesn't, he has Bolt up for whatever 2-drop his opponent plays into, Skullcrack to stop, like, a Finks or, like, some of the earliest life-gaining threats.
Yeah.
And this looks like hand attack, so we're going to... Well, that's at least a shock for Gozmit, which in general tends to be good. The thing with Red Deck Wins is, too, like, oftentimes, like, Thoughtseize, I guess it trades up on life here, but Red Deck Wins, like, real primary game plan is just really efficiency. All right, here is the Hellraiser. What do you think of this card?
I do not know what that card is, so let me...
It's a 3-2 for 2 with Echo 1 red, and when it dies, it does 2 damage to any player or planeswalker.
That seems actually pretty decent. 3-2 for 2 is decent.
It is 3 mana. It is 3 mana though, over 2 turns.
Yeah, but it's on the installment plan, right?
Yep.
So that's... What is the last card? Reckless Abandon. What does that do?
Reckless Abandon's a good card. It does 4 damage after you sack a creature, which kind of combos out nicely with the Orcish Hellraiser. So if the Hellraiser is ever going to die in combat because it's blocked, or it's going to get removed with a removal spell, you can just blow it up.
Oh, I see. Is it it's a... So it's... There was a variant of this. It's exactly the same, but it deals 3.
Yeah, this one does 4. Reckless Abandon does.
Fire, I think?
Unfriendly Fire is only 3. It's a newer card.
Yeah.
I think it's from Ixalan or something like that. That card, Reckless Abandon, is old. I forget.
I think Unfriendly Fire
Odyssey.
was from Khan's block. I think Friendly Fire is from Ixalan, which is a slightly different
Fair
card.
enough. Yeah, very close.
Yeah. I think that's a separate card. Oh, but I'm getting Reyyu's call. So. Alrighty.
All right, so I assume we pay Echo here. I mean, he could just Reckless Abandon his face and deal 4+2, 6 down to 11. That's really aggressive. I think you.
Yeah, I think that's a little early. Granted, you have a hand that is like very stuck with burn, but I think you probably try to. You don't need to go that fast.
Yeah, no. Plus, it makes the Goyf a 3/4.
Yeah.
I assume you attack here, and the Goyf is actually. It's funny. I was bullshitting with it was either Gozmit or Wolfgang Cloud. And I was like, oh, Tarmogoyf, the best anti-red deck wins card.
I mean, it's not a bad one. It's just blocks.
Well, it blocks and it attacks well too. Oh
yeah.
Goodness. Oh goodness. oh no. All right, so we're going all in. He must have hit the land. Did he hit another land? So he has Barbering down to 5.
No, the only card in his hand is Reckless Abandon.
Well, that's still 6 damage. If he fetches, he's dead.
True.
Yep, if he fetches, he is dead. And actually, he can just
to
attack with
to
Bull.
Activate his Tortured Existence.
Oh,
Yeah, dispatch on the ability is not gonna resolve.
The game likely just ended.
The fetch ability will resolve, to be fair, because he needs to untap, but...
Yep, but I think he's going to. Oofa.
Yeah, that's... welcome to playing against Bonoret.
Yep, there we go. There is the 6. It's so funny. Alright, on to game 2, guys. Red deck wins.
As you do. Red deck did win.
Yep. It does need quite a bit to go right, though. If you look over the course of those draws,
yeah, his hand.
Had he not...
he drew a crazy hand and was...
Well, drawing the mana was...
Yeah, I'm hoping that Reiyu can share his screen soon, so I get to show his hand. But outside of that...
So... That's one of the things about this Abzan list that I don't tend to like in general about this matchup is it looks like it's value-oriented. And I think some of that value orientation is going to be a liability against red deck wins. You just want to cast out Siege Rhinos and Luxodon Smiters and Tarmogoyfs.
Yeah, so Gozmit's hand is a little bit grindier and slower this time. It is Soulscar Mage, Monastery Swift Spear, Stormblood Berserker, and then another land, Skull Clamp, and Fiery Confluence.
That hand's good, though. I think Soulscar Mage is actually secretly a really great tech card in these mid-range matchups because it's able to actually shrink down a lot of the bigger critters that you traditionally in Red Deck Win wouldn't be able to attack through or block.
Oh, Reyyu's hand is tiny. How does he see what these cards do? On his own screen. Okay, either way. I'm gonna share his hand now. The screen is gonna look funky for a second, but I'm not gonna get there.
Well, so it begins.
And so it begins.
Skull Clamp is going to be tough to outgrind.
Skull Clamp is a fair and balanced magic card. Do you know that?
Yeah, no, I must have forgotten that one. I guess at a minimum, this Sylvan Caryatid is kind of nice here to be able to block the Clamp out. You don't have to block it and trade. Although the chances of this Sylvan Caryatid just being eaten by a burn spell are very high. You know, you have to
It's
probably
has
know that.
hexproof.
No. If he throws it at his opponent's face and he blocks the 2/1, the Monastery Swift Spear, he can just pump the Swift Spears with prowess to actually attack through it. So he basically gets to force through more damage for free.
True.
Right?
That's true.
That's kind of my point. Yeah, my point is that you can't target it, right? But unless like there is some random like mono red council's judgment I don't know about, or he's got a beacon tower or whatever. Yeah, so like Gerard's orders are like the kind of cards that so his build I think is going to have more frailty against the archetype that Gozmit's running.
Yeah, because you don't want to listen to whatever Gerard has to order you. Whenever,
no, you want to be casting like a Siege Rhino, like a Siege Rhino, you know, like, or whatever.
So
you know?
we have hands. Rayu's hand is currently Vraska Relic Seeker, Wardly Tutor, Verdan Karakom, Dryad Arbor, and Arachnogenesis.
I'm kind of shocked he cast Gerard's orders there. I think I would have just left up Arachnogenesis plus Worldly Tutor to find Kitchen Finks after wiping the board. But I don't know. Just me.
Oh man, can Wild Slash blow things out?
Wild Slash could have forced more damage through.
No, I'm checking if Wild Slash prevents only the damage from Wild Slash. Yeah, if you have Ferocious, Wild Slash says that damage can't be prevented this turn.
Yeah.
So you can kind of stop fogs from fogging.
But he did not have Ferocious, correct? So,
no, yeah, he does.
Yeah. All right, so down to 7. I mean, I'm kind of curious to see what happens here. Do we just find a Kitchen Finks?
Yeah, you have Wardley for a Kitchen Finks.
I mean, it's not the most impressive of plays. No, he doesn't go for it. And he leave up Arachnogenesis, possibly.
Yeah.
Maybe he wants to get the Siege Rhino and just try to win.
Yeah.
Siege Rhino is a far better card against the red deck wins. Well, they're both good, but if you can get a Siege Rhino down, it's very nice because it actually clocks.
That is,
I guess he does
in general, a statement that is true against red deck queens and also against other decks. If you can play a Siege Rhino, play a Siege Rhino. That's like just a good statement in general.
Yeah, no, it's not anything deep. But the question's more so like, do you try to invest in the Siege Rhino, or do you try to like go for the immediate Kitchen Finks just to get down some life gain right now? Because 7 is not that far from dead. I mean, we saw that Gozmit was able to do 6 with just 1 card in hand, basically.
All right, it's spider time.
Yep.
That is one of my favorite times.
So I assume we see a block on the clamped up Monastery Swift Spear, and then a trade with the not a trade, an eating of the on-crop crasher.
Yeah.
Seems
depends if you think that the Dryad Arbor is more valuable, but I would probably trade here.
No, well, the damage is prevented by non-spiders, so I think it's just worth blocking it. Yeah.
Oh yeah. But the damage is prevented from Dryad Arbor too, right? Oh, Dryad Arbor couldn't block.
Yeah. No, it could. The only thing I'm sorry, not Dryad Arbor. Sylvan Caryatid.
Oh yeah.
So I assume you just go for the Worldly Tutor on. Oh no, we're doing this.
But isn't that the same then? Like, if
what the same?
You still don't take any damage, either block or non-block. Like, you're not killing the Swiss.
The only way that it actually matters is if like they have some sort of random like 0 mana like prevention thing. Like Flaring Pain's not castable from there. Take like Simian Spirit Guide Flaring Pain. That's doable. It's a thing. It's not realistic, but it's a thing.
But then you lose your Caryatid, which I guess is fine. But without the Caryatid, you can't cast a Siege Rhino.
Okay.
Like, so that's the only white source that he has. I guess now he has Death Ray Shaman. Death Ray could be huge here. Can exile a few creatures.
I'm more worried about dying next turn. I didn't like fetching there to go down to 6. Yeah. I guess if you have to, you have to. 6 is dangerous in my opinion. Obs Baloth, it's a good card.
There are no creatures. Oh, there's only the Ancrop Crasher.
Yeah, I mean, like, all it takes here is like 1 Sulfuric Vortex or like, plus this is a force block. I feel like it's a force block. I definitely. He's got an Obs Baloth coming. He doesn't need all this mana, so I think you do block with the Sylvan Caryatid here and just let him eat it.
Yeah, they draw 2 cards. No, I guess you just trade with the
No,
Kyrie.
you don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want him to draw here. I mean,
Yeah.
you're at 6. Like, there's a lot of cards on 3 mana that kill you from 6, especially
And,
at 5 cards.
Yeah, no, and the Kyrie doesn't even die. That's
Yep. So evidently that's not what we're doing. We're casting a creature here, which means he probably missed a bit, or I don't know. I guess we'll see. Maybe it's sorcery.
yeah. I saw that he was highlighting the fire. No, he's fire blasted.
Okie doke. All right.
But then why didn't he fire blast mid combat? That would have killed.
Wait a second. What just happened here?
Oh, he fire blasted.
He's styling. He's styling. He's gonna cast like 2 spells. All right, Fiery Confluence. Yeah, he's styling. That's what he's doing. He's just showing him how dead he is. Because he would have obviously fire blasted in combat if he needed to get rid of that thing, plus do the damage. So yeah, I mean,
he fire blasted his own. So the play there was
what I'm saying is it didn't matter.
Killed
it
his
mattered.
No, it mattered.
Matter.
The 2 cards that he drew the extra land that he needed to cast the Fiery Confluence. He wouldn't cast the Fiery Confluence otherwise. He didn't have the land in hand. It was actually not a free play. But either way, we have Gozmit wins this week again. I think he's at 6 points, so he's actually gonna share a win this week. With Reiyu, actually, because they're both gonna end up at 6. But let's.
They don't face off in like a finals. We're not gonna have finals.
I mean, and I'll ask the players if they want to stick around, but I think
I do finals out of yeah, but it's yeah.
I moved to Tenebre versus Ramy since that's the only game that's still ongoing as far as I can tell.
Oh, okay, sweet. Poor Tenebre is saying he has not hit any lands with the Winding Way, even though he's named him twice in his lands deck. It's pretty miserable.
Sometimes you get variants.
Yeah, sometimes you do. All right, so what's going on in this game? Being beaten to death by these things. And Swordtooth can't block. Yeah, this is not looking great.
Remy's on Sorensen, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep, Remy's on Sorensen, and Tenebre, I believe, is on 4-color lands. All right, nothing goes the way of the bin. And can he combo out this turn? All right, Horn of Greed going deep. This is not going to get a trigger off Horn of Greed. It's play a land, not have a land in the battlefield. Yeah. Okay, so he's getting that land back to try to see what else he can do. Another land, okay. Oh. He's out of land drops at this point in time. So unless he gets Fast Bond or Exploration, yeah, it looks like
what is that blank emblem on Tenebre's side of the field? Oh, it's a City's Blessing.
City's Blessing, yeah. Yeah, it's a City's Blessing for the Swordtooth. So it is now capable of attacking and blocking, although it doesn't really block anything effectively, and, well, 18's a lot of life.
I mean, yeah, no, it doesn't.
All right, we got something going on here. I assume it's likely to get countered, but I suppose we'll see. Alrighty, the old mind sensor. Get in there, little buddy. Get in there and do some blocking. All right, going to 0 threats on board, and loses 1 land drop per turn off after losing the Wayward Swordtooth, and/or is going to get berserked out or something like that. All right, no, just this.
I mean, the other thing is that the finals would be Gozmit versus Reiyu again.
Oh, yeah, this makes sense then. Yeah. Did Gozmit lose a round?
Yeah, Gozmit lost to Tenebre.
Oh, okay.
We only had one player on 6, which was Reiyu, and then Gozmit beat Reiyu, so now they're both on 6.
All right, well.
Yeah, running with 6 players, sometimes there's only one undefeated going into the last round. It's usually there's 2, but sometimes there's only 1, depending on how things work out. It is what it is.
All right, well, we're going to see what Tenebrae is able to piece together here. I'm not liking the looks of
No,
where this game's
I
at
don't
for
like
him.
their chances too much.
I mean, plus Horn of Greed, again, we were talking about old cards, is templated in a way that everyone gets to use that ability.
Yeah.
So that is a little bit rough. Okay, they're evidently trying to find a way to win this turn in case their opponent Tenebrae has interaction here, but I assume they can probably find it. Evidently they did initially because they didn't bin that card. They would have binned that card and looked for a counter spell or something like that.
Yeah, I would imagine so.
With the search for Escanta, so they probably found the counter spell on top or some sort of interaction. All right, Swords to Plowshares into counterspell that search probably put on the top of the deck. Or like a dive down or a blossoming defense or something. No? Okay, interesting. It's curious then that search did not bottom whatever it found.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe
bottom
they
a
hadn't
digit.
up being good enough. Like, Remy is in a good position, so like as long as like he's not in a super big hurry. He doesn't
Yeah,
want
but
Tenebrae to start draw out of it, but
well, yeah, but I mean, here's my thing, man. Like, right, you have search for his content on the board, so if it's not a card that actually enables you to, or enables the protection of you winning this turn, why wouldn't you bin it so you could flip search for his Kanta to get more gas for the
yeah,
next
that's
turn?
fair.
Because like now, I don't know. It's just my take on like he could very well have something else. This is obviously problematic though, right here, right?
Oh, hi there, Titania, Protector of Argoth.
Yeah, with Caracas to do it every single turn.
Yeah, that's
and Horn of Greed and Crucible of Worlds. Yeah, it's not good.
Seems this.
Yeah.
Agreed. It is indeed problematic.
Yeah, and some of it ties back. I do think whatever he got was probably is just like okay, Nimble Obstructionist. So it's at least not Vendilion Clique. That would have been rugged. So he's got not lethal in the air. Unless he has Berserk or Blossoming Defense or Become Immense work.
Those are all cards that you can find with Ascanta if it comes to it.
Yeah. I'll help you make some elementals now, I assume.
Yeah, it's this 5/3 and jump in front of the Thorn Lieutenant.
You can
get double pumped.
You double block it and kill it, yeah.
Yeah, but then you lose your Titania, right? Don't you just block with an elemental and force him to put a bunch of mana into the Thorn Lieutenant? It's 6 mana to actually it can't be get Thorn Lieutenant can't get double pumped then. Oh
yeah, there's the Berserk.
Hi there, Berserk.
There's the Berserk. Yep.
I love the old picture on Berserk. It looks like some guy is just going completely ham. I love it. It's like
no, it's good old art. It's good old art. And there we go. I think that's it.
Yeah, it was this. Let's see if this was the last game.
Yeah, Ramy gets the match.
Wins the match. Berserk doing what it does since.
No, it's really a sweet deck. I've always enjoyed playing blue green, like kind of watching it play out. It's just got an interesting range of cards and really doesn't have like an analogous counterpart in any other format that I guess you do have like some of the grow strategies that used to happen, but I mean it's not even really. It's a pure tempo deck, and I don't think you see a ton of that in like eternal formats anymore.
Yeah, you see. I mean, Legacy is a format where tempo decks definitely is. Legacy is definitely a format where there are more tempo decks that are successful. Although those are kind of hybridized towards mid range.
Yeah, hasn't like Delver decks been seeing a resurgence like recently, like a lot?
I don't know.
Delver decks have always good. Like they've never been complete.
Yeah, they're fine. I mean, I think for a while they were kind of not really the place to be.
Right now, the top 2 decks are Delver decks. So
yeah. Are they okay? I mean, I don't play Legacy at the moment, man.
Right now, it's like Izzet Delver and Blue Red and 4-color Delver are 2 of like the top 5 decks in the format.
Okay, cool. But do you think UG plays out in the same way that those
No,
decks
UG is a very
do?
different deck from Delver decks.
Yeah.
Delver plays a lot more like the Highlander equivalent of the Delver decks is more like the blue-red spells deck, if anything, I would say.
So, Simic Tempo wants to play out like Delver decks, but you can't really do that in a singleton 100-card format.
I don't know if I agree with that. I think you could play Is It Blitz, and it's
like the blue-red. I would say that the blue-red spells deck plays a lot closer to, like blue-green plays kind of like some Delver decks, like the Canadian Threshold decks, like But I would agree that those decks are worse than.
It's closer to standard mono blue actually.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's probably the closest like current deck.
Yeah, I would agree with that. So we have here are the standings for today. We have a 3-way tie up the top with Reiyu, Ramy, and Gozmit, all at 6 points, and then we have a 3-way tie for 4th place with Luca, Tenebre, and Aqua, all at 3 points. That's it's an interesting. That's interesting. But yeah, let me post the standings. Actually, I'm gonna post them later because I want to put the decks and stuff in them. So does that? But either way, does that make that? Do the players agree that this is what ended up? Reiyu, Ramy, and Gozmit both went 2-1, and Luca, Tenebre, and Aqua both went 1 and 2. If you have some remarks, please let me know. Otherwise, yeah, I just wanted to let all of our viewers remind all of our viewers that if they want to sign up for the event, exclamation point Discord will get you to the Canadian Highlander Discord, a wonderful place when people love talking about powerful magic, and you can keep your eyes peeled in the tournament announcement channel. There will be announcements usually that go up on Wednesdays about when the next tournament is gonna be. We run usually on Saturday at 10 a.m. Pacific or 1 p.m. Eastern Time, or which I believe is 7 p.m. Central European. If people are want to sign up from Europe, it's not a completely unreasonable time from there either. And I recommend that you just show up and try to participate. These tournaments are a blast to run and a blast to watch, and I hope a blast to play. We had a little bit of pat on the back for myself. I think we had a lot fewer technical difficulties this time, so go me. I guess I figured out how to do the hand thing in a relatively seamless way, I guess, before round 2. At the end of during round 2, so that ended up working out. I will hope to see all of you next week. I want a couple of more thanks. I wanted to thank again, and I'm probably gonna say this every week, 404 for doing the graphics for us, which has been amazing, and I'm still incredibly thankful for him. And Loman for jumping in the booth and on very short notice and helping me not go insane while I try to set the tech up and also get a semblance of sense of what the matches are looking like. Thanks everybody, and I will talk to you next week. Bye.